just the way he controls and he's multitask is actually pretty decent. And that's really key for a map like or a matchup like PvP. And we'll see how things kick off starting on Muspelheim. Andre, did you know Muspelheim means family?
I did.
Oh, well, now I don't feel as cool anymore.
I'm sorry. What language do you know it is?
In German?
I think that's incorrect, actually.
What language is Muspelheim?
It's Indonesian.
Oh. Well, you're not Indonesian, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. And I found out that Indonesian people speak Chinese. Did you know that?
Some do,
yeah,
yes.
That's pretty cool.
It's because of the integration of China going into Malaysia.
Because China owns like everything, right?
Well, it's known that China actually owns most of the businesses in Malaysia.
Well, to be fair, China owns most of the businesses here as well.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line there's a Chinese investor in NASL as well.
I'm pretty sure China
I would like to meet him one day. Maybe.
China owns the U.S. too.
It's projected by like 2080 that China would own the U.S.
Let's get into the games.
China probably has a good stake in Muspelheim as well.
Probably.
Just saying.
So actually Muspelheim the origins is from China, or eventually. It's Gosu HwangSin in the bottom right hand corner as the blue Protoss. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Dignitas CT, who is, of course, Bischu. Now, we looked at a lot of games. We were able to look at Bischu's games of Minigun, look at Bischu's games with MC, and also from the Berlin tournament. And what we really came up with together was, do not try to prepare a build for him. Do something that kind of encompasses everything and you're able to defend. And HwangSin said, I think I have better micro than him. So he doesn't mind going into micro wars with him, but he is a little bit afraid of, I guess, the very large list of all-ins that Bischu can do. Still, just to give my prediction real quick, I am going to go with HwangSin. I didn't last week, but we trained, and I think he has what it takes to take out Bischu.
I predicted HwangSin as well, but I would love to see Bischu win, especially his last week's series against MC. It was so tightly contested.
Oh, man.
And it was one of those things where it's like, man, I feel like Bischu outplayed MC for like 70% of the game.
Yeah.
And then MC would just like do that one micro engagement that just turns around against all odds the favor in the matchup. And MC would go on to win, despite Bischu having like 3 more Colossus and like 20 more supply of units. MC still managed to hold, especially on the game on Ohana.
Yeah, it's silly. I mean, I felt like Bischu last week was in positions where it was like, okay, 1A, win. Don't even have to micro. And I don't know what MC does, man. I don't know what he eats. It's definitely like Wheaties or something, because he is always on top of his micro whenever he's playing PvPs. It's really crazy that he can make losing situations just turned around completely.
Yeah, and I think Bischu, it goes to show that Bischu has great game plans and strategies.
Yeah.
And then at the very tip top level, it's like he doesn't have necessarily the micro to compete with MC, like one of the best best Protosses when it comes to micro in the world, if not the best. And so I think that's a respectable level, and that's why I think Bischu shouldn't really go. People shouldn't overlook on him. Don't sleep on the Bischu.
That's right.
That's my message for you guys tonight.
Don't sleep on the Bischu.
That's the Frodan Fierce tip of the day. Don't sleep on Bischu.
Now, I think I know what HwangSin's going to do here. It is going to be 2-gate Robo. I have no clue what just happened, by the way. But it is going to be 2-gate Robo, most likely. There's nothing yet. But look at this Twilight Council going down. Now, this is normally Blink, but it could be Dark Templars. I want to mention in a little bit why I think Blink Stalker isn't as good in this map. But we do see some sort of fake 4-gate. This isn't real. We know this.
Yeah, it's just a fake, and I mean, Bischu will cancel that pylon. It's just, again, to make HwangSin feel more defensive. Oh man, he's forcing a 2nd sentry out of HwangSin. That's that's still a pretty considerable reaction. And sure, you say HwangSin has, he has 300 gas, but look at how far developed in terms of investment Bischu is. He's got Blink, he's getting a Robo, and those are like concrete things set in motion. HwangSin still hasn't really chosen where he wants to go from here.
I actually did this exact same build, except I got a 4th gate in practice with HwangSin, and HwangSin was able to fend it off every time. The big difference, though, is HwangSin didn't get this 3rd gateway. I don't know what he's doing over here, why he's actually changed it up, because we didn't do this in practice at all. HwangSin, what you doing?
He's expanding.
There it is. 3-gate Robo expand. The expansion is okay, but I felt like, I don't know, maybe this was a mistake and HwangSin really botched this. But he read something that he said, okay, I'm going to get this third gate just to make sure I'm safe. I think, again, we talked about this a lot. It's like Bischu has a lot of different all-ins. Don't be surprised if he 4 gates on this map. He's very capable of doing so. So I think he was like, okay, let me get the third gate just in case, and that way I can go and take my expansion, because he really wants to play macro against Bischu.
I think Bischu also saw the sentry count. There's 4 sentries from HwangSin, and sentries are not that great against Blink Stalkers because Stalkers can just kind of avoid the force fields. And their DPS is very poor. So I feel that Bischu has a very good opportunity to crush his opponent, especially considering that this Nexus can be used as a sort of bait. You know, you can try to pressure HwangSin, you know, move him, force him down the ramp, use the Observer and Blink to be able to capitalize on his positioning. And Bischu lets the Nexus finish. Very key play, because now this is 400 minerals that basically give him no return whatsoever.
That's right. And you know what? In normal circumstances, you should have 2 Immortals, but only having 1 pop out here, that's a big problem, because all of a sudden Bischu can actually blink on top of this army. Oh, he goes out into the main, segregates the Immortal basically from all the rest of the units, and killing that 1 Immortal actually wins Bischu the game. Oh my gosh, HwangSin.
Wow, great blink micro from Bischu. Just have to be very patient, not really losing anything more than shields, just have to really get off the high ground. Oh, a nice little force field, but the Immortal is not even out yet to really punish those Stalkers, so they even get out.
It's still a ton of damage being done here, and yes, I mean, it looks like HwangSin might be able to stabilize right now, but I feel like there's enough of an advantage where Bischu just has so many different options. You can see a lot of range units don't really exist in here. If HwangSin can actually stabilize with his Immortal count, he will be able to fend this off pretty nicely, but you know, it's a big if.
Yeah, I love how careful Bischu is being with his Observer as well. He's really trying to make sure he doesn't get spotted by another Observer in case HwangSin picks it off and the blink aggression is thwarted. And he's putting it in a very nice spot while able to scout if he's going to protect his ramp or not. He blinks up, and now he's going to go for very aggressive blink. Keep in mind, he can also blink out the other way. Oh, but he force fields and blocks his opponent out from being able to protect the ramp. He has also another force field. Now Bischu has alone time with the Nexus. That is a very good move. Oh, and HwangSin discovers the Observer, but Bischu's been on top of it. Very good control from Bischu.
Yeah, just this slight alteration of builds is the big difference, I think. HwangSin just falling apart because he doesn't have his Robo out in time. And I really feel like if you go 3-gate expand Robotics Study against a 4-gate Blinker, it's almost, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's really challenging to actually stop something like that. And as we see right, oh wow, he could have lost that Immortal very easily to a force field.
Yeah, good thing HwangSin was able to bring it out. Look at this 1 sentry kind of tucked away right behind the middle line of HwangSin. If you see, he's like, they will never find me. They can't see me if I don't see them. And Bischu is just expanding and getting his own Immortals out as well to be safe. And Bischu just has to make sure he expands earlier, saturates a little bit quicker, gets a small probe advantage because HwangSin was able to squeeze out more probes, and just back off. That's exactly what Bischu's doing. He's playing very brilliantly, and he's not overextending. I like it a lot.
I do too. And really, he thinks HwangSin is kind of relegated to a 1-base all-in. Like, what can HwangSin really do? If he goes for an expansion, he dies to a macro game. But really going all in off of this doesn't make sense either. It's like the lesser of the 2 evils. Which one are you going to choose, HwangSin? It looks like he is going for the all-in, but all Bischu has to do is just sit back, know that, hey, you don't have a Colossus out?
Yeah.
Cool.
He knows
I'll work on some sentries. I'll get Immortals out. This is going to be a really easy defense. And HwangSin, it's just really tough, Frodan. I don't know how he's going to do it.
He knows his opponents also went for blink. That's why he backed off, because his opponent could just blink forward, take advantage of his units out of position. And that's why he's been cranking Immortals out. 3 Immortals already. That's the critical number, because it pretty much one-shot Stalkers. And if you just get 1 additional shot with your units, then they're just insta-gibs. So HwangSin, this is going to be a really tough position, especially since he doesn't have force fields really to assist him. And force fields do matter in terms of protecting your Immortals in this position. Let's see what happens. But Bischu just has so much army.
Yep. That's right, and look at how many Zealots he has. That's a lot of tanking damage. Wow. And on top of that, you have the sentries as well. We're going to have some sentry segments right here.
That 1 Immortal.
And once that happens, I mean, how can he really continue on? There's just so many Immortals more for Bischu, and look, he's
Very
really,
nice.
really well.
The Immortals are so safe, forcing the Stalkers to kind of clump up if they ever want to engage in forcing one-on-one action. Bischu absolutely rolling over goes to HwangSin. Immortal also running to get the last shot, and he does, but at what cost? HwangSin loses almost everything. Only 3 Stalkers live to tell the tale. 38 to 77 supply, with 31 of those supply being probes.
Oh.
And he expands. Wow. HwangSin.
At this point, HwangSin has very little option. There it is.
GG.
He knows it. I mean,
that GG timing.
He sees his opponent's army. He sees the saturation.
Bischu.
And that's the only thing he can do. Bischu, very well played. Kind of sad about HwangSin. I don't know why he changed his build all of a sudden at the last one, because literally all we practiced was 2-gate robo. That's all we practiced.
He went 2-gate robo?
He went 2-gate robo every single time.
Would he expand after that?
He would expand.
Would he okay.
You go 2-gate robo, he gets like an Immortal or an Observer, depending on how much pressure he actually feels, and then he expands. And then
that's
he
too
just
bad.
stabilizes.
He like completely changed it up.
Yeah, he completely changed it. I have to.
Maybe you owned him too much. Going 2-gate robo, he's like, I don't like this build. And then because of Greedtorp, he changed his build last secondly, and HwangSin ended up losing. What an awesome coach.